let's see if this thing is going live here. Always takes a minute. No, I don't know. What's crazy, my phone will time out. I have to go back to my page. Try it again. Let's try it again. Ah, it's working. Okay, cool. I'll take out these earplugs here. Set this thing to the side. Sorry, I'm starting so late. Today was a little bit crazy. And, all dusty. Get the controller turned on. Welcome to Edge TX. All right. Get this plugged in. See what it says. Boop. USB joystick. Yes. All right. All right. I got to start this drone simulator because I have been busy right up until I just walked upstairs here. So I didn't get time to start everything up like I usually try to do. Hello. How's it going? What is today? Sunday? Yeah, today was crazy. So, yeah, I did. Today was V Neal's Vampire Weekends, which is kind of like a Monster Palooza. And if you're not in the LA area, Monster Palooza is awesome. Basically, a convention where it's all the people that do creature shops here in LA. There's like tons of creature shops and effects places and makeup and people do special effects makeup, all this stuff. It's really fun. And V Neal, who's this really basically like famous makeup artist, if you're in the makeup artist community, started a convention. This is very similar to Monster Palooza at the same place, and this is our first year doing it. And I modeled for makeup today, which is why I'm all like shaved up and not all stubbly and gross. So I've been doing that. John England, top of the morning. Thank you very much. So that was most of my day today. And then yesterday we went into town again to see a play, and I did floors, started the floors in part of my house. It's been like a little bit crazy. So hopefully tomorrow I can like get back on task with some things. I still got to finish floors, but it's I have to put down leveler, which takes maybe like 15 minutes, but then it takes 4 hours to set. So once that's setting up, I'll be able to like work on some stuff. Let's see if the drone is open. It is. All right. Let us fly the drones around. Let me switch to my drone view, which is scene. Got game input. Do we need video device? Don't need this one, I don't think. I have something set up to it was like do an audio capture from the video thing, but I don't think it's from the game. And then I'll turn on my thing at the bottom so we can look at my pretty face. Is this it? There's me. Okay. Display capture. Audio output capture. That's the one I had that was letting the sound go through. I could turn that on and try it with the drone noises, but I feel like it's going to be very annoying. All right, let's go fly around. Let me set my alarm here so I don't overdo it because I got stuff to do. I have to send an email with a bunch of portfolio stuff to a shop today, and I started the draft version of it, and I have a whole bunch of things in there, but there's no description of what anything is. So, all right, oops, one, cool, and start. So we have hour and 5 minutes of time before the stream will end. All right, let me get this out of the way here so I can see what I'm doing. So yeah, that's good. And then let's see. Let's go fly around. So today, did the Vampire Weekends, and I was put into this crazy kind of demon-y looking makeup by Richard Redlifson, which I would show pictures of, but I didn't think to send any to myself beforehand. You can grab the shoulder rings you saved. I'm waiting to make some mods. Yeah, I'll try to upload them tonight. Once I get out of here, I got to do some emails, and then I'll try to remember to set them up in a drive so you can get them. Yeah, that should be doable. Hang on, let's see here. Apocalypse. Let's go to Dynamic Polyworld, the one with all the crazy tracks all the time. See if there's any new ones. Nuclear meltdown. I think we did this one already. Nighttime neon. Nick Burns track. What was that? Supercross? Super Mario. Temple of Doom, Tesseract. Quads in space. Alright. I feel like I've seen a lot of these now. 24 board champs. Atlanta Wildwood. Bando Mall Apocalypse. Jumanji 3. Have I seen this one yet? Jumanji 3, let's try it. Probably have. Oh my god. Yeah, look at this craziness here. So yeah, anyway, that's... What the hell just happened? That was weird. Wow, look at this level. This is interesting. Oh my god. Get out of this hole in the ground. So yeah, so today I did that. It was pretty fun. Got put in makeup. Still have crap around my eyes, and the bottom of my chin is a little bit sticky still. Some of the glue didn't get taken all the way off. Oh my god. How many layers is this? I feel like it's too easy to go out of bounds in this one. And then tomorrow, I'm going to also be casting up some of those IG-88 heads, the Derwent jet engine pieces, which I bought resin to make more castings, but it had been really cold and then it rained, and I do them outside. So basically, tomorrow looks like the weather's going to be real good. So I'm going to do some castings of those. I'm going to go for at least 2, if not more. And then there's this, like, the Inland Empire Strikes Back, some kind of little convention thing out in Riverside this weekend, which I don't know if I'm going to go to or not. I got a C3PO thing on Saturday, and I want to finish out my new 3D printed shorts to wear to that, to test them. I feel like it's a great spot to test them out because it's like a, like a small deal thing. So my goal is to get them clear coated, hopefully tomorrow, because I don't think I'll be able to do it Tuesday, and then ultra lumen them maybe Tuesday night, because I can do that inside, and then let them really like set up for a day or two, and then do a tint coat on maybe Wednesday, if possible. And then I'll wear my brand new 3D printed shorts, and hopefully the ultra lumen looks good on there, good enough to stand up next to my regular spray cone parts. Even if it's not perfect, if it's close, I'll be happy. And the last time I did a test, when I clear coated them, even though I used the exact same tint color, it was slightly darker on the ultra lumen for some reason. And I think if I did the ultra lumen base coat white, it would probably read a little better, but I'm not 100%. So that's going to be my test. My R2 won't be done in time for the con this weekend, but I am writing my own code to control him with an RC controller and PWM signals. That's cool. How reliable are the signals? Probably, as long as you got like good transmitter strength and you don't have to worry about it dropping out, it should be good. But I'm not sure what transmitters you're using or anything, but you want to make sure that your R2 doesn't go driving away from you by accident if it loses signal. So in your code, maybe there's like a fail-safe or like a check option where it basically does like a, what do you call it, like a checks for signal every few milliseconds, and if signal, then yes, and if no signal, then shut down the droid kind of thing, to make sure you don't have a drive-away situation. Safety kill. Because there's been some pretty dramatic videos of R2s like basically losing signal while they're driving, and they just keep going. It's like, see ya. And you don't want that. That'd be sad. That will be sad. Let's see, what else? So when I see you guys last on Friday night. Yesterday we went into Glendale and saw a Shakespeare play. Which one did we see? It was oh my god, what was it called? I'm blanking on the name, but it's pretty good. Much more reliable than Bluetooth. Have someone inside your R2 just in case. Yeah, you could get a little person. Oh, you know, I saw today is what's the little guy from Pirates of the Caribbean? He's a little dude. I saw him today, and he's friends with Richard Redliston, who did my makeup today. Worked on some of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and was friends with him. So that guy stopped by, and then also the other guy, big black guy. I think his name's Isaac. He stopped by and said hi to us today too. I've met him before. He's real nice. I don't think he's ever seen me without in some kind of weird makeup. But he's talked to me like 4 times in makeup, and I don't know if he realizes it's the same person. Yeah, the Bluetooth is a sketchy. Now they got essentially like the controller I'm using right now. They've there's the 2.4 gigahertz like Futabas and all that stuff, which are good, but now these newer radios, like the one that literally the radio I'm using right now, apparently has like better signal strength than the the high-end Futabas from like 3 years ago. This is 5.4 gigahertz. I'm trying to remember what this is. It's got like apparently a really good signal on these little things, and they're very cheap. And multiple shops now are using these little Radio Master controllers for animatronics on set, and apparently they've been very good. They've been very good. And it's ELRS receiver stuff, so it's a little bit slightly more pain to set up, but we used them on a shoot, and we were able to basically switch relatively quickly, reset the controller to work with a different receiver. It's because we had 2 different puppets that both had to work off the same controller, and whenever we had to swap puppets, I'd have to go over there. My friend Eric would take the thing apart and basically quickly reprogram the thing so it would work on the other receiver. And it was good. It was very reliable. Very reliable. It worked great. What is your filling and sanding technique for your shorts? Does it take long to get smooth enough for 2K? So for the PETG shorts, they're very easy to sand. You can hit them with a random orbital sander. Works really great. I did mine probably like 80% done sanding them, and it took me all of like maybe 10 minutes with the sander, and I just blasted the whole thing really quick, and it worked great. And the PETG is more forgiving than like PLA will sort of like get too hot under the sandpaper and kind of ball up and stuff, but the PETG works really nice. And then I just will prime it with I like the Krylon primer, but I just used some of their primer recently, and it did not work like it used to. So I don't know if they changed the formula, so I'm a little skeptical. And there's another brand of primer that's really, really good. That's called Transtar, I think. Hang on a second. Let me see something. Let me see if that's what it's called. It is called. It's really, really good primer. I like it a lot. I'm gonna search it really quick. Hold, please. Let's go take a meandering look at some primer stuff here. Hang on a second. Let's look. Transtar primer. Is this the one? It is Transtar 46 2-in-1 primer. This stuff. They have one that I have black and gray. I think the black is 4-6. Let me see what the numbers are here. It's called Transtar primer. It looks like. And it's just single stage. It's not the 2-stage stuff. Let me find it. This is it right here. 2-in-1. Actually, let me go back. Let me go back one. Sorry, this is the same stuff but in black. 4613 Transtar 4613 2-in-1 primer. Let's look at it really quick. Hang on. Sorry, I realize I'm not sharing my screen. We'll go here. My drone is just flying away into space. I don't know what's happening. Let's go to display capture. Turn off game capture, and we'll go back. This is it. 2-in-1 Transtar primer. This is the black, but I would probably get the gray. And what I would do is just primer the gray, 4603, and then I would just spray the clear coat right on top of the gray. You could always like wet sand this if you wanted to, like, you know, give a pass of sanding and then maybe another bonus pass. But this primer is very, very good. It's really good. It's expensive, as you can see, but it's like, it's good. It's very good. I feel like $18 is still a little bit steep, and if you could buy like 2K auto primer, it's expensive, but you get like a gallon of it for like $100 versus a little spray can for $20. So it's definitely more than 5 of those spray cans worth, and it's really, really sturdy, easy to sand. What grit sandpaper on your orbital? I actually, when I'm starting out, I start pretty rough. I do like probably like 120, maybe even 80, just really rough, just to bang out any lines really quick, and then I'll turn it up to a little bit finer, but like maybe like 180, the finest one right on the print. I don't go any finer than that on the print. I'll usually prime it and then do that. And then typically, I really don't even like to sand the prints if I can get away with it. If I am using like the 2K primer, I will just do that instead of doing the I won't even sand the print half the time. I'll just fill it with the primer. I've done videos on that where I did like one pass of 2K primer and it's totally 100% filled the print lines. So it looked really good. All right, let me go back to my game here. Oh, what did I do? The heck is that? That's weird. I did some very strange selection thing. All right, back to the game. Let's see if it's gonna play. And fly. And then, like, what did I do the last time? I went to, I think I talked to you guys on Friday. I went into town for the St. Patrick's Day party at Studio Gillis, which used to be ADI, and Alec Gillis basically, ADI closed and Alec Gillis took over. And Studio ADI, which stands for Amalgamated Dynamics Incorporated, they did the effects for like Tremors and Starship Troopers and heaps of other movies, and they're just really cool guys, and I've worked with them on a few things. And I don't know if I talked about this on here, but if you guys watch the Super Bowl and there's a commercial with all those sloths that were, going really slow, they built those costumes, and I almost worked on that commercial. They recommended me to be in it. The place called me, I gave them prices, and then they're like, hemmed and hawed, and then they took the whole production down to South America or someplace weird where it's really, really cheap to film, I guess. And they built one of those sloth costumes on my life cast, on my body form. So it's literally like there's pictures of those costumes being made, and it's like a dummy of me inside of it, made on my form, and I didn't get to be in the commercial. So lame. But it doesn't have anything to do with the effects house. It just has to do with the people doing the commercial and wanted to save as much money as possible. So they did it somewhere really cheap. And the people that were in it probably didn't make very much money, unfortunately, because it ran during a Super Bowl, which means they should have made a lot of money. And if it was filmed here, they would have made a lot of money. But they probably didn't. Probably just got paid for the day, and that's it. Instead, it was a Super Bowl commercial, multiple tens of thousands of dollars to be in that. But no. Ripped off. Anyway, went there for their St. Patrick's Day thing. Super fun. Speaking of Super Bowl commercials, I saw Jamie Kelman, who was the makeup artist that did my makeup on the Will Ferrell commercial that I did a few years ago. And Jamie Kelman was there, and I think that his makeup was a huge part of me getting picked for that out of all the people there. So that was cool. He's a very nice guy. And I saw Trevor Newland, who was the Xenomorph in the latest Alien Romulus film. Trevor's a super, super nice dude, real talented, really weird, tall build, great for doing creature work, and he does some sports and stuff, so he's got like good endurance. He's fit, but real, real skinny and tall. Very, very good for that kind of thing. Who else did I see? I saw some other makeup artists that I worked with on some other things as well, and it was fun. And I saw Kevin McTurk, that I worked with at Spectrum Motion. Kevin McTurk used to work for Weta, worked on multiple things with them, and then now he works at Spectrum Motion, and he's been doing his own puppet films that are like these really cool Bunraku Japanese style puppets. There one was called his last one was called The Haunted Swordsman, and it's really, really cool. And been helping on this other one, which is freaking awesome. Oh yeah, tomorrow is actually St. Patrick's Day. That's right. I need to not forget that as well, even though I'm probably going to be home all day. But let's change tracks here. Let's see where we're at. But anyway, yeah, that was super fun. And then I went from there, and I fitted for the teeth that I wore today. And then I went and fitted for a different pair of teeth that I wore today also. And then, yeah, it's been freaking nonstop, real busy. And I don't live close to town. I'm in Los Angeles County still, but I'm way up at the north end, which is far. So to go into town is like, it's fine if I gotta do stuff all day, but it sucks out a lot of time out of my day driving back and forth. Micro Roman ripping. Let's go crazy. I feel like I saw this one before. I'm gonna look at this one more time. 5 stars, bro. Hoping your Ultralumen job turns out well. I'd love to see how you spray it to get a good and consistent look. So, I can't remember the dude's name. I keep forgetting. The guy that does the Ultralumen company showed me the trick, because my last test was good, and then I kind of oversprayed it a little bit. And when I did that, it gets like a little bit of haze. So if I was like indoors or if I was shooting on film, it'd be kind of totally fine. It'd still look really good. But in person, you can see it, especially when you're outside and you're getting like direct bright light up against the reflection, instead of it reflecting back like a really clean reflection of the sun or whatever. It kind of gets like hazy where the reflection is hitting. And then it reflects stuff that's like not in direct light really, really well. And it did that because I oversprayed it. It's my fault. It's not the fault of the Ultralumen. I just messed up. But the guy showed me how to fix it, and essentially you basically just spray isopropyl alcohol, 99% isopropyl alcohol, onto the surface, and it'll basically wash off the excess and leave behind the appropriate amount, and it looks really good. He did a little demo and posted it, and it was awesome. It's a great fix, and I wish I knew that before, because I left it like that, and then I tried to clear coat it just to see what it would look like. And again, that's what I was saying. It comes out a little bit dark, and I had used a black base coat for my test, but he recommended doing a gray or white base coat for doing the gold brighter, he said. So when I do the shorts, that's what I'm going to try. And if I'm getting bold and I have enough left over, I might respray my arms too, because I got like my newer set of arms, which is real sweet. I really dig them. I really, really, really dig them. This board is too big. Do you know what sort of spray gun settings you use? Seems like you want to spray it super quick and light. Yeah, I do. What's crazy is the Ultralumen, you can actually kind of put on real wet, and it dries really nice. But then I sprayed it again after I did that once. But I tend to still prefer to go like really, really light coats and let it dry. It dries a little bit slower than All Clad. Still fast, but just a little slower. And it goes on like a yellowy kind of color, and almost like bluish yellow, like weird color. And then it like turns more and more silver as it dries. And it's on my spray gun. I was spraying with an auto spray gun, and basically you know, you can crank the setting where it pushes the needle all the way forward. So when you pull the trigger back, it kind of keeps the trigger from going back too far. I put that all the way forward and I just crack it open so that some stuff will spray out just barely. And that's how I've been doing it. But that's what I do with All-Clad, and it works great. And Ultralumen seems to work the same way, but I really want to practice with it because you can physically take an item and dip it in Ultralumen, and it'll dry off, and it like looks good, just dipped. Or you can brush it on. It's stuff is really cool, and it covers great. It covers better than All-Clad does, so it takes less of it to cover more with more opacity, less more opacity. So that's that. What are they gonna say here? Let's go change tracks. Let me see. What is time I have? I might do this for half an hour, and then I might pop open ZBrush and show you some stuff. Maybe here. I'm probably gonna go in there tonight anyway. Maybe I'll just come back on. I'm supposed to do. Let's be a Florida bando. I'm supposed to do my drone stuff. It's like working out my little drone muscles here. Where am I? This is it. This is stupid. I love how it's supposed to be. It says Florida. It's like all these mountains everywhere in the background. Yeah, it looks like a freaking Wawa gas station or something. It kind of looks like the interior of the airport in Oahu. Zoom. Oh. Alright, this level's dumb. How many stars did this one have? Did it have too many? More than it deserves? I think it probably did. And oh my god. Alright. But yeah, the spray gun is pretty light. And again, I think that I just oversprayed. I see if I can find videos from when I first started spraying it. I posted a short on my stories on Instagram when I first started spraying it, and it wasn't quite full coverage. Like I could see the black through a little bit. And the thing I like to do to test for the reflectivity, do I have anything around here that's reflective? I'll take like a piece of foam like this. I happen to have a whole big pile of foam over here. Get a chunk of foam, bigger sheet than this usually. And then I take whatever reflective thing I'm trying to look at and hold the foam next to it so I can look at the reflections of the foam on my painted object, because if there's a spot where the Ultralumen is a little thin, it won't reflect the same. But it's hard to tell unless you have something like pure white next to it. Does it have anything in here reflective? I mean, I could grab my droids back there, but sort of defeats the purpose. I gotta have something else in here. I have a C-3PO shoe here with Spectrochrome base coat. This is actually the Spectrochrome base coat that they use under their silver spray. It's real flexible. This part was sprayed in 2012, and I never got it chromed. But this is their Spectrochrome brand base coat. And I feel like it's probably like similar to TC90 or something. Like it's really bendy, and this is on a urethane shoe, and it's like never come off. But I didn't have them chrome it. Anyway, I got 3 bottles of Ultralumen. I'm terrified to try it. Yeah, don't be scared. It's really forgiving, and just go really light so you don't waste it. 3 bottles could possibly do a whole suit. If you're careful, I think it would cover a whole suit. Because I have one of those 4-ounce bottles. I've used half of it. I sprayed a full set of arms. I sprayed a head. What else did I do with it? I sprayed a head, arms. The hell else did I spray? I sprayed something else. But it was like a pretty good amount of stuff with a half a bottle. So a head, arms, and then another half a bottle. I could easily do a torso and probably start the shorts off of 1 bottle. So it's so funny. My YouTube's like, it's almost time for bed, because it tries to make me log out at 11. Anyway, let's go back to my Go back to the game world here. I should be practicing while I talk. Let's see. Change track. VRL 8 track 4. VR season X. That's 10. Season 10 track 6. Let's do it. Again, no idea what the hell these things are. Wow, look at this. I'm like underground again. Nope, through the ground. Yeah, don't be scared to try it. It's really good. It's very forgiving. It's not like doing a spray chrome where if you mess up, it's like a big nightmare and you just wasted a bunch of stuff. It's kind of like you can overdo it a little bit, but it's you can correct it. Just to get a big gallon of like 99% alcohol and just keep it on hand. Just throw it in your spray gun, and if you overspray it and it looks a little hazy, just spray it up with alcohol and let it run off the extra. And when it dries, it like looks amazing. So that's worth trying. And the dude from Ultralumen also said, you know, kind of, you don't have to bake the parts, but he like you want to heat them. He had like almost like a little oven set up where he could like keep them hot, probably like a paint booth that's heated, is what it sounds like. And when he was doing his tinted clear coat on there, it looked really good. And apparently he's doing his own version of tinted clear. I'm excited to see what his colors look like, because I'll absolutely buy them if they got them, because the Sim California Gold apparently is getting really hard to find. Last time I bought it, it was a little bit tricky to find. I had to get it off of eBay, but I've had multiple people tell me they can't find it anywhere now, and I really like that color. It's not 100% accurate for 3PO. The 3PO is actually really yellow, and that the gold that I use is a little more gold color, which is kind of like when I went to Spectrachrome for the first time to see their stuff. Their gold is like gold and not yellow gold like 3PO. It looks more like real gold. And the owner was telling me he was selling these kits where they would do that electroplating on metal. It's like a portable electroplater, so you could like go around and on anything metal, you could basically have this little wand and you could hook it up and like gold plate stuff. And he was doing these demos for me that were amazing. Like you just take a quarter and you could gold plate a quarter, and it was like fused to the quarter. You couldn't scratch it, couldn't scratch it off or do anything. It was great, and it was pretty quick. It's a pretty cool setup. And he was selling those and making a bunch of money. But then it was like, you know, if people wanted to plate plastic parts, they couldn't do it. So that's when he's started to figure out the spray chrome stuff, which has been around for a while, but he was like, you know, trying to make it as good as possible and really figured out the mix so that the gold, he had a demo pieces that were like one piece was electroplated gold and the other piece was spray chrome gold. And at the Spectrachrome place, he literally put them in my hands and I couldn't tell which one was which. Like, and they're like he has them like the color of that dialed in, but it's again that's like looks really gold instead of that yellow kind of color like 3PO is. When I went to, I mean, I've seen a few 3PO suits in person, multiples, and all of them were definitely more yellow than my suit. And I like this, the color of my suit. It's just, if I were to completely redo it again, I'd probably, like start from scratch, I'd probably go a little more yellow just to make it a little closer to screen used. I need to get a good touch-up gun to spray it. So I just get one. I got one from Harbor Freight. It works just fine. It works fine. It's not expensive. They have like a little silver one that's pretty cheap. There's a tiny little purple one which is really cheap. They're like 14 bucks, and that actually works okay. I've used it for All-Clad a bunch, and it's worked fine. It probably worked just fine with Ultralumen. But the one that I've been using is the slightly nicer one. It might be like 30 bucks, maybe. I don't think it's 30 bucks. I think it's in the 20s. And it's kind of chrome looking, small touch-up style gun. And it works nice. And it cleans out easy. And that's the thing with like doing all clad or any of those, even ultra lumen. I just clean my gun with like a little slosh of acetone and rinse it out, and it's fine. And I like that. Did deep dive on DJ Rex parts, found parts today, which inadvertently led to learning about the RR flame tubes used on several lightsabers. I assume those are parts of the same Rolls-Royce engine assembly. They are, yeah, they're from the same engine. They're actually, like, the lightsaber parts are, it is from the same engine, from a Derwent. Can't remember what the part is called. It's, find a picture of it here. They used them on, like, Obi-Wan's lightsaber, and I think when they did the Luke saber, they made, like, a machined kind of version of it. But it should be on the Obi-Wan saber, if I remember correctly, from New Hope. And there's quite a few parts out of that engine they used around. I actually was always curious if some of the 3PO parts came off of those engines too, because some of those parts turn up a bunch of times, and they've got multiples throughout the first episodes of the film. And there was like Mitchell Engineering, which was they made record players and stuff, was apparently right nearby where they were building this stuff, and they got a lot of machined metal parts that show up all over the movies that are from those record players. And I'm assuming they just got like a box of parts that were either extras or like they maybe did backup pieces or something, or they stopped that run of those type of record players that had left over. I don't know why they had so many, but they're everywhere in the Star Wars films, all over the place. RA7's got a bunch. They're on the R2D2. They're all over the damn place. They're in a bunch of the cockpits. They're on 3PO. But the little piece on 3PO's throat, and then the piece on the back of his head, and it's also on his belly, it's some found item initially, and I have looked forever to figure out what the heck that thing is. And I always wondered if it's some plane part from that engine. And I got a PDF of somebody PDF converted one of the old like instruction books into PDF, or like one of the old manuals for those engines into a PDF, and I have it somewhere. And I've gone through that thing like dozens of times to see, because it's a lot of kind of like technical drawings of the engine, and I looked a lot in there to see if I could spot those parts, and I didn't have any luck. But I feel like there's some kind of chance. I actually wrote to one of the airplane scrap yards in England back in like 2014 to see if they had any idea what the parts might be. And the guy that was working there was like, no. And he's like, they got the parts that they actually got from a different scrap yard than the one that I wrote to. And he knew where it was. And he's like, this is the place where they got those. And, I'm not sure who works there. And I wrote that place and never heard back. But, I don't know. I'm going to find out one of these days. What'll happen is I start thinking about it, and I'll spend hours looking on the internet trying to figure it out. It's such a waste of time. It's stupid. What is this? My TV downstairs just tried to like log me in. Cancel. Yeah, Obi-Wan Pommel is on DJRX chin. Huh. That was the connection. The sync knob thing. Yeah. I did not know that was on his chin. That's crazy. I have to go look at that again. I also wonder too, like the DJ version. I have to look at the DJ one again. I got photos of him last time I was at Galaxy's Edge. I took a bunch of pictures of him. And I wonder too, because like if they used a model, it's kind of like when they did Rey's staff in The Force Awakens, and I wonder if they did the same thing where on Rey's staff there are found items on that staff, but they're found items that were scanned and then slightly rescaled to make the staff. And they're like, because staff was done digitally, but off of, it's kind of kit bashed off of real stuff that had been scanned. So people were like took some liberties with the scaling and so forth. And I remember seeing on these posts about like people figuring out what some of the parts were, but they're like, but the sizes don't make any sense. And I was like, oh, I see what you guys did here. I see what you did. Oh, underground. Oh, bounce off the wall and die. Backside of the mouth, microphone style mouth. Gotcha. I have to go look at it again. That's interesting. Let me go look at DJ Rex really quick and see if I can find a picture. No, DJ Rex. My computer's real hot. Okay, got some photos here. Image. Now I know that the one that's there is, even if there's like real parts on it, I know that it was digitally created because I know who worked on it. I know 2 people who worked on it, and I'm sure that they either, like I said, either scan the parts or, okay, I see. I'm trying to find a picture from the side where you can see that part. It's so funny how weathered these things are in person. Like DJ Rex is very, very, very weathered. And when I did Skeleton Crew, I took my RA7 back there, and it was going to be a junkyard scene, so I weathered the living bejesus out of it, thinking like, okay, it's going to be really dirty. I was like, I thought that I took it too far. I'm like, might be too much. And then I get there, and all the other droids in the scene were way more weathered than my droid. I was like, oh, this is okay. I don't feel so bad now. I was just like in the kitchen late the night before, just like spraying them down with like this rusty colored water and all these dirt washes and like basically mud and adding like white paint to water, so when you spray it and it lands, it dries, it looks like settled dust. It just was going nuts. And guess what? All the other droids were even more weathered than mine. Back to Dave Ferrer, or was he just in the photo I saw? I hate clean. Yeah, clean's lame. Yeah, Dave Ferrer didn't work on the ones in the parks at all. Dave Ferrer did the first one of the droids that he worked on with us for that was the Book of Boba Fett ones, like the one they got back here. And then after that, then he did his own version that drives around. It's really awesome. And I don't know. There's like an RX Builder Club, and I'm not sure who did what parts of the files. I don't know if Ferreira remodeled the whole thing or if he took the existing models and like redid animatronics. I really don't know exactly what the role was with the one that he's driving around and that are on the builder group. But they're not the same people that worked on the ones for the park. And I'm honestly not 100% sure how accurate they are to the park ones for scale and stuff. I've seen them, they look really good, but I haven't done like a deep dive comparison on them to see. And if I start looking at it, you guys, if you know me, you know I'll start losing my mind. I'll be like, that's not right, and then I'll end up wanting to fix it. But I don't have time for fixing RX droids. That's why I'm doing this droid here, because I know it's screen accurate to the shows, but I don't know if it compares to the other one there. I think I'm going to do mine like the Skeleton Crew version. I'm going to stick the gum on the back of its head and everything. I like that. There's a photo in the Builders Club, but no names go with it. Yeah, okay. He helped me out with my RX Dimensions. Nice guy. Yeah, dude, Dave Ferreira is great, man. I love that guy. He's real smart, and he's fun because like he doesn't take things real personally. Like I don't know if I told you guys this, but like the first time I met him, I think I told you this the other day where I met him and he was in Chicago at Star Wars Celebration a few years ago. and he had been drinking, and he was just like giving me endless grief on my BB-8 weathering video, which is he just it's like you're Bob Ross in it and doing this. We talked about that the other day. I remember having that. Um, and I immediately liked him because of that. I thought that was hilarious. I was like, okay, this guy's all right. Didn't get like weird about it or anything. He was super funny, and then we had the debate on like, cause he likes to airbrush his weathering, and I actually like both. I like to splatter it and airbrush it, and then like dab it in with some paint, wipe it off, and then airbrush it some more, and then like far away spatter, and then stipple brush it. I like to really mix up my techniques because I feel like it looks the most natural. But anyway, that was my first impression of Dave, and he was great. And the next time I really hung out with him, I got to go to SCAD in Atlanta, Savannah College of Art and Design, and give a talk, which was real weird. And they and Frera and Alex, oh my God, what's Alex's last name? Anyway, Alex, whose name I'm blanking on, who's also a very talented builder, basically brought their droids there, and Dave Ferreira had a really good BB-8 that he built, like really good. And by good, I mean it like looked good, but it also drove like the real ones did. Like the way it functioned was freaking awesome, and it was like very easy to puppeteer, and the balance was great. He really figured it out. Um, he's very good with the robotic stuff. I'm hoping to fly him out to Japan with his droid. I want to do a duckling droid, but they are so expensive. Thinking of making my own R2 body frame that's 3D printed to use aluminum skins, but also badly greeblies. See, that's a good idea. I've kind of been on the same boat with that because there's some stuff that Badley's done that's great, but then there's some stuff that's like off the shelf, and I kind of want them to be compatible with the over-the-counter like metal parts, you know? And what the hell is it? The droid that is for, what's the one? The one that they used in the Galaxy's Edge Hotel. There are some vents on that one that were like, I think they were ones that were designed by, I think Badley did them, and I had redone them to go with some metal, like some of the greeblies on there I redid to go with some metal domes. And I feel like that was like the good combo. Like it kind of took advantage of the way his parts were built, but you know, again, real metal parts mixed in. And I feel like there's a little bit of compatibility issue between like the, you know, the Builder Club specs versus the badly like 3D printed specs, which I think externally look correct. Both of them like look the same, but the, you know, using the parts back and forth isn't quite friendly all the time. The duckling droids are very cool. I've been very up close and personal with those little guys, and they are awesome. They're very awesome. And that's all I can say about that, unfortunately. But they are very cool. I kind of want to do a static one, and it's one of those like, that's another one where the builders groups, if you're on, I don't know if you're in the builder group on Facebook, but there are like whole sets of files out for them, and they are pretty good. They look accurate. I know of some aspects that are not quite the same as the real life ones, but you wouldn't know unless you've been real close to them before. It's hard to tell. Those little guys are super cool, and the programming in them is freaking nuts. So even if you can afford all the motors and all this stuff, the programming is freaking bananas. They have like all these custom scripts that basically like train them in a simulator, and just like ran them and let them fall and crash and trip and learn how to avoid all that stuff, and then put all the programming into the real droids. and they really navigate well. They don't fall down very much, and they're like actually very hard to knock over. Yeah, I thought about just a static duckling, but maybe the head action. See, that is right up my alley. Like, that sounds like something I could actually pull off too. And I really like those droids. I like them a lot. They're real neat. And that would be fun because you could just have that at a display, or like, if you get into some programming, you could probably make it where they could do some basic, just have some like preset movements you could program in, or you could maybe make them where they, follow you with their head can look around and follow a person. I mean, I feel like that stuff is within reach now. It's not so difficult to do. But I think that the programming stuff they're using to drive them is going to be very, like a much more off the shelf thing very soon. Because I've seen some software that's coming out now for training robots that you can basically plug in any robot and it'll figure out its like basically its joints and how it moves on its own. The program can figure it out, and then it can figure out how to take that and navigate the world and how to maneuver the thing without actually breaking the real thing. It does it all in a simulator, and it's really cool. And then it makes me wonder, like, are we in a simulation? Are we the simulators that are figuring out how to train our meat skin robots that are sitting in a warehouse somewhere and then waiting for us to plug all our data of our whole life into it so it can just go about working at a warehouse at Amazon or something? I mean, it seems like something like that. Who knows? Da-da-da-da. Yeah, careful head. Yeah, slippery slope. This is true. It is easy to get carried away. I want to make AI voice for my Huang that's powered by ChatGPT 4 so he can be the ultimate shop assistant, responds to me, writes my code, answers my questions. Oh, yeah, I have the Huang file. So that is cool. That is really cool. I saw a guy online who was doing what was it, TARS from Interstellar. It was like a little one, but it had like some AI chat bot in it, and it basically it talked like TARS, and it would respond, and it was the same. It was snarky. It was pretty cool, and I feel like that's getting closer. And now, again, how much longer till it just becomes easier and easier to make a robot that just works? Like you'll build a thing and then you ask ChatGPT, like, what do I need to make this thing walk around and help me build stuff? I need this robot to sand things because I don't want to sand anything. And that could be very cool. Nope. Downstairs. And through the tube. Oh, or not through the tube. Benefits. Oh yeah, I have the Huang files. Benefits. Great cause. Miss Grant. That micro TARS is great. Yeah, dude. Grant was awesome. And I feel like the same. So I know I told you guys before, but my friend Sam Macaroni just passed away. It was like a whole weird thing, and he did pass away finally, but I thought he passed away. Turned out he was alive, but like in hospice, like he was gonna die. So he was in there, and he just died a couple days ago, maybe 3 days ago, and like a day before his 50th birthday, which is crazy. But he died at 49 of an aneurysm, which caused a stroke. And Grant was 49, died of an aneurysm. I mean, it's so weird. And now I just turned 49, so who wants my stuff? I got to put it in a list for, just in case. Just in case. Got to figure out who needs my things more than I do. Ooh, look at the little shadow of my drone there. And And yeah, I got like a bunch of stuff at Sam's office that's mine, and I don't know how to get it back. And that is very awkward because I don't want to be insensitive, but also I got a lot of cool stuff over there that is on loan because he wanted to dress out his office with some stuff. He's like, you got things I can put in here? Hey, Tarpley, you got things you can put in here to make my office cool? And I was like, yeah. And I lent him a bunch of cool stuff. And now, I don't know if I'm going to get it back. And that ain't good. You know, yeah, the TARS thing is great. I saw that guy was working on something else too. He had TARS. What the heck else was he working on? Some other thing that could talk back. I feel like I just saw that on an Instagram page. It was the same dude. But yeah, having the Huang would be very cool. That is a droid that I like. I got like the animated version of the files here from when I did Jedi Temple Challenge because AD3 initially was gonna be Huang, but Huyang, but as a costume, like a performer could wear it. And I'd done a whole version. I bet I have pictures of this thing on my computer somewhere. With you could see the wearable version of the costume that I did that initially was going to be a Jedi Temple Challenge thing, and then they got word like later that they couldn't do it. And I don't know if it was because they knew Ahsoka was in the works and they were going to use the droid, but somewhere down the line, after I'd been working on it and basically redid the damn thing, they were like, no, we can't use that droid. We got to do a different droid. We're going to make one up. And so that was great. I do hope you get your stuff back from Sam's office. Yeah, I do too, man. That'd be freaking, would be awesome. I like that Sans we wanted to implode his collection on top of him, unlike being shot out of a cannon. And one great reason to include Maker's Marks, I suppose. This is true. I've been trying to hide like little tells inside stuff just in case, you know. Because you never know. You never know. Now I'm kind of actually curious to see if I have pictures of that Wang file. I've never like opened it. Hold on a second. I'm gonna switch back to me for a second here. How much time? I have 11 minutes left. Let's do this really quick. I'm gonna go to me for a moment, and I'm gonna see if I have pictures from when I was working on that Jedi Temple Challenge thing. I think I do. The folder had a weird name because when I did it, it was, the show didn't have a name yet. Clients. Let's look. Disney, Lucasfilm. Think anybody be interested if I put up the Jedi Temple Challenge lightsabers, like the puzzle sabers that I did for the show? There's the arm gauntlets. What the hell is that called? Copy Aces. 83. Giant folder full of stuff. These are all my files. Let me see if I got images in here. Oh, screenshot. What is this? Oh. Hold on a second. What is this? Here's some very early versions with notes for what 83. Some of my concepts. I've never showed this to anybody before, so you guys are gonna see this for the first time. Scene. Let's go to here. We'll stop doing this game for now. Let's go to display capture. These are like some of the concepts. This is the one that, the bottom one is the one that kind of turned into 83. They see it's like boxed in. It was supposed to have pistons on the back of the neck, but it was like real big pain to get them to work right in time because the time frame is really short to get the costume built. and I kind of abandoned them. But on the back of 83's head, there's still the connection point. I think it's on the torso too. They still have the connection points for the pistons, because it's supposed to have these pistons that would move with the suit, and I just couldn't get them to like do it quite smoothly enough. They worked, but they were like sketchy, and I didn't want to be in the middle of filming and have them like catch or something. I'm surprised there's not more screenshots in here. Let me see. Sorry, I'm trying to find this thing. I want to show you guys what the thing looked like before it was like the Hawaiian costume. I do have somewhere I've got screenshots of it, but they're not in this folder. So we are not gonna look at that anymore. Let's go back to this Velocidrone. We'll do a little bit more flying for the last few minutes, and then I gotta go do Duolingo before it freaks out on me and I miss my streak. Don't want that. And Chadow. Huh, look at this. Is it gonna go full screen or did I mess it up? Let's see. Change track. Full screen. I laser marked my signature on the backs of my serial plates at work for the machines I designed. See, that's a good idea. More for the fun of it than anything. See, I would do that kind of stuff. I like putting little hidden things in there. I mean, I think I showed you guys the tops of the at Disney, the canisters I made, the ones that I made that aren't the Rolls Royce canisters that I did all 3D model. It has my little GT props, like a logo hidden in the top of them. So if you ever got one from the place and you pop the little cap out, you'll have my logo in there. And with that cap, I glued them in so that you couldn't see the thing, like it's hidden. Because when I sent it off, I didn't want to have like some marking on it, but it's hidden in there. I really like Ahmed best in that show. Yeah, Ahmed was freaking awesome. Awesome concepts. Thank you. I actually, that's like the narrowed down concepts. I'd done, somewhere I have a page with like a bunch of really, really crazy ones. There was like wild versions. I went through all these like, they had the initial design, and I just looked at a bunch of Doug Chang art and a bunch of different droid designs that had never got made, and I did sort of inspired versions of those, a whole bunch. Some of them were crazy looking, like really wide heads and like disc-shaped heads and stuff, like really, really wild ones. And they liked the ones that, like the ones you saw on that sheet. They liked those, but they wanted like the Huang's little Fu Manchu thing. They put it back on, so 83's got the little pieces that come down. But on that concept, I don't think it had that. And then something else, I softened the lines a little bit. It was like really angular, but they liked the shape, but they wanted the lines just softened a little bit. So it's basically almost the same as one of the ones that was there, but it has Fu Manchu and the softened corners on the face. But I might put those files up too on the Patreon. If anybody wants one of those droids, it's a little bit obscure, but you know, if anybody wants it, I feel like it'd be fun to see them around, and I've never seen another one, so that'd be kind of cool. Did I just start mine? Same one I just did. That's weird. Change track. Let's do Apocalypse for a little bit. This one's always fun for me. Let's go to the bottom one. But what else did I do for that? I have the kids' gauntlets that they wear, the little stormtrooper gauntlets, bracer things that all the kids had on the costume. Those, the lightsaber, the lightsabers that light up, which were done on the Savi's sabers from Galaxy's Edge, like the build your own lightsaber place. They got the cores, and I built the saber around those, like a custom saber, and then I made the puzzle ones to match, so when you assemble them it looks like the finished one. So then they can do the assembly, and then they present it to Ahmed at the end, to Keller and Beck, and then they have to like put it in this little slot, and when they pull it out it lights up, and basically we do the switcheroo where they assemble it and then they put the lightsaber into the into this thing, and then the when it lights up, it's you know, the Savi's core, so we swap them, but same handle and everything. And I didn't realize how beat up those sabers were gonna get, because the way the kids were carrying around, they like basically tossed them in a bag as they run around that obstacle course, so they got really banged up. Like by the end of it, they were beat up bad. And I probably would have made them a little bit differently had I known they're going to get so abused. But again, it was super last minute, and I made like, I don't even know how many I made. I made a whole bunch of them. I have a picture of like probably like 12 of them sitting on a table, and I think those are just the puzzle sabers, so there's like backups in case they broke. And yeah, it was pretty cool. And then with like 83's head, should take it down so I can show you guys the way it comes apart. Like when I printed it, I was doing it in such a hurry to get the things done that I legitimately did not know how I was going to assemble the head and make it all stay together until I had the pieces. So the way it goes together is like the top of the head basically holds the front and the back together, but the front and the back click on with magnets. So you put the neck on, and the neck has a little flare, kind of like the sequel 3PS suits had that little flare up, which I don't like personally, but the way the neck has to work on a suit had to be like that. Put the neck on, and then the back goes on, and the back is hooked to a helmet underneath. So it's like a fiberglass cap that I wear, and I put that down, and then the back is on a Velcro strap so I can adjust it, and that covers the back of the neck, and then the mouthpiece clicks on, and it's on magnets and like two little tabs, hold it in place, and then the top comes down and it keys in. It's really nicely fitted the way the top holds the front and back together. So it's nice because it's really easy to take on and off, but it stays on. Like it won't pop loose or do anything, and the whole helmet is kind of floating on the skull cap. The skull cap is underneath, and so even though the head is sitting on top of the lower pieces, there's like maybe like a 1/4 inch gap between the top of the head inside and my actual head. Like it doesn't actually sit on my head on the inside, which is cool. But again, I was not sure how the hell I was going to make that thing work. I knew this shape I wanted and that they liked, and then I was like, you know, I'll just figure out some way to do it. And I also wanted it to be a thing that could come on and off relatively easily without a bunch of tools like 3PO where you got to unscrew things and like fight with it. I just wanted it to be like, you know, in like a minute you could put the thing back on and be ready to go. Which I'm glad, because I was in this stupid thing for like multiple days and days, and just getting a break here and there was kind of nice, just to be able to like pop the helmet off. Gotta head to bed. Just keep poking around his shoulder rings. Yeah, I'll try to get them on there. If I can't get them tonight, I'll get them tomorrow. My thing ends in 31 seconds anyway, so I'm about to log off of this sucker and go send emails. I'll try to remember to do it afterwards. And then again, I'll be here tomorrow during the day. I'm trying to get a lot of stuff done before I go to Florida, and I really need to get some other stuff uploaded to Patreon. I have like the shorts that I was on the other day. I haven't had a chance to do this one little fix I got to do before I can upload the two-part pair. Oh, there goes my alarm. Oh my gosh, crashing. All right, there it goes. And that is it. Let me put this thing away here. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with me again. Yes, leave session. Let's see what happens here. Sweet. All right, so shut up. Hang on. Dismiss. So yeah, I will be back on Tuesday, but Tuesday's going to be another one where it's probably pretty late because I am in town until I won't even be back here to my house till almost 11 p.m. So I'll log on late. Maybe I'll do it early. I don't know. Probably be a late one. And then, either way, I'm gonna try to do ZBrush here in between. So, well, yeah. So let me see. I just got a few episodes into Skeleton Crew. Definitely a fun show. Yeah, I'm very excited about how that came out. I was quite excited about that, and be on the lookout for me because you can spot me a lot of times. I'm in like 5 out of the 8 episodes, I think, and then the RX droid that I worked on is in the other episodes. I'm trying to think if there's any episodes that I had nothing to do with at all. I think there's like I've touched all the episodes except maybe one. I don't know. I think there's another droid that I made a dome for in that episode, though. I have to watch it again to be sure. I'm not 100%, but I think there's a droid in there that I made a dome for. I'll look. But yeah, look for me. I'm pirate, and there's digital doubles of me around too. So my pirate there, I spotted myself twice as a digital double because they scanned me, and one of my friends at ILM's like, "Oh, guess what file I'm working with?" and wrote me as like Platoonian with helmet, Gordon Tarpley, like had my name. So he told me the file, like, and this was like 2 years before the thing came out, so I had no idea where it was gonna be. He can't tell me anything, and then yeah, RX bus driver, that one made it in. The RX bus driver's in 4 episodes, 3 episodes, 4 episodes. So each one of those I count as being one that I touched, even though it was sort of there. And then, so my Clatoonian, there's 2 versions of my Clatoonian. There's one that has a bag, like it's 2 different outfits. It's the same helmet, same face, 2 totally different outfits. And one of them, both outfits show up in episode 2 at the same time. So like not at the same time, but there's like the whole show I'm in one outfit, and the very end of the show there's a shot where I'm in another outfit. I think they took that shot for a different episode because I'm just like over on the left side of the screen, and I'm in the other outfit in that one. And then obviously my droid, my RX droid, you'll see my RX droid, my RA7 droid, and then either episode 7 or 8, I'm almost positive my scene as an Athorian is in one of those episodes. There's like multiple shots that look like the one we did, but I haven't confirmed which one it is yet, so pretty sure it's there. So there's a lot of Athorians in that one. So anyway, that's that. I'm gonna go to bed now, and then and yeah, so the RX back here, I'm gonna do up like the bus driver droid. And there's a thing to note: when we did the RX droids, when we made them, the cable that goes around the neck twists around the neck like they are on Star Tours. But in Book of Boba Fett, when we delivered the droids, they were not painted. And when the paint department painted them, they took stuff apart, and when they put it back together, they didn't wrap the cable around the neck. And so in Book of Boba Fett, when it came out, I was like, oh my god, the cable's not around his neck like it's supposed to be. And it was very disappointing. And then in Skeleton Crew, Mike Senna made a little mod so that on the neck of the RX droid, there's like a little clamp that holds the wires for the head, like on the sides of the vertical post there. So a little bit different, but cool. So you can tell the difference between it's the exact same robots from Book of Boba Fett, but it's a little mod that they did for Skeleton Crew. Anyway, and there's a cheat later. I won't spoil it if you haven't seen it yet. I'll tell you about it. It's like a blip, but I won't tell you because it might spoil the part. Anyway, I'll be back in a day or two, or tomorrow, or tonight maybe with ZBrush if I'm still awake in a little bit. We'll see if I can get a second wind here, get some work done. But thanks again, kids, for stopping by.